Boy, when I came out and thought I would do a video this afternoon, it was bright, it was sunny, the wind wasn't blowing. Now it's getting dark and cloudy, the wind is up. It's getting a little bit chilly too. But we'll see if we can stay off topic just long enough to get this video done. If not, we may have to retreat indoors. Today I thought I would talk a little bit about the notion of improving oneself, and this comes up due to some of the comments I receive on the Black Bear Forge YouTube channel. Sometimes I will comment that I'm trying to improve the lighting, I'm trying to improve the video quality, the audio quality, something of that sort. And frequently I get comments to the effect of, don't change anything, it's great the way it is, we don't mind if it's a little out of focus, we don't mind if the sound's a little bad, we don't mind if the lighting's a little bad, we just love the videos, keep doing exactly what you're doing. Or maybe it's, don't just check boxes for no reason, you don't need to worry about it. Don't worry about the YouTube algorithm. Quit trying to be something you're not. Remember why you started YouTube in the first place. Well, I suspect most of these people don't really understand why I started YouTube in the first place. And even if they do, things change. We constantly evolve as human beings. We evolve as creators. Whatever we're doing, it's always in a state of flux. And that means chances to improve ourselves. Now, personally, I think we should always be growing as human beings. We should always be growing as creators, whatever it is you're creating. Whether you're creating YouTube videos, forged ironwork, woodwork, weaving, music, whatever it is, what you do today is different than what you're going to do a year from now. And what you're doing today is different than you did 2 years ago. And regardless of why we start something, why would you want to be stagnant? Why would you want to say, well, I learned how to do this little bit of what I was interested in, and I'm just going to do that for the next 20 years? To me, that sounds boring. Now, if you're satisfied with that, that's okay. That's your decision. I'm not going to tell you what to do. But for me, I want to learn, I want to grow. And here on YouTube, that means improving the quality of the video. It means learning how to better use the cameras, learning how to deal with all the manual settings. I'm still a real novice at this. I still make way more mistakes than I get things right. But I am learning. I'm starting to realize, well, if I mess with manual focus a little more often, maybe this will be better than always using autofocus. And if I start learning how to use some of the other manual settings, then I can gain more control over what I'm doing. And of course, the same thing holds true with the audio and the lighting for the videos. The more I take control of that, the better the videos can be. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean the flavor of the video and the general nature of the video will change, but hopefully the viewing experience for you folks out there in YouTube will be better. And even though I am just learning how to do all this, one thing I am pretty sure of is that this camera is not waterproof and it's starting to rain. In fact, there may even be a little tiny bit of hail in this, so I'm going inside. Well, we're inside. The rain chased us in. There was actually some thunder, so this is our first thunderstorm of the year, and it's only April. But anyways, what was I talking about? I was talking about improving oneself, specifically talking about improving myself with regard to how I produce YouTube videos. I really start to wonder sometimes if the people who complain when you make efforts to improve are really just satisfied with where they are in life, and maybe they feel a little guilty if you're trying to improve and they're not trying to improve. Or maybe they are just so satisfied with what you're doing that they're afraid the nature of it will change so dramatically that it won't be the same product anymore. And I realize that is always a risk, but do they really like those old videos that I did just with the cell phone? Jumpy and jittery footage anytime any kind of machinery was moving? Or maybe they just like poor quality lighting or the lousy audio quality that we used to get from some of the videos. Once my videos became tutorial videos because people asked me to explain more, things had to change. I couldn't just use the same old equipment. I couldn't use on-camera microphones that really had lousy sound, especially when the forge was running or you're hammering on an anvil or if you're out in the wind or anything like that. Things had to get better. The lighting had to get better. Camera placements had to get better. Understanding how cameras work had to get better. People who are satisfied with what I'm doing today probably haven't really watched the old videos, or they have forgotten how bad some of those videos were, and quite frankly, some of them were awful. The same holds true with editing. I'm learning a lot more about editing. I think my editing technique is getting a little bit smoother. I know I'm spending a lot more time editing now than I used to. It used to be for a 30-minute video, I spent about 45 minutes editing. Now for a 30-minute video, I spend about 3 hours editing. And I can see where the more I get into it and the better I get and the more I can control things like controlling color from one camera to another camera, which is really one place where I need to improve. That's a fairly regular complaint, is this camera doesn't match that camera, that one's a little yellow, that one's a little green, whatever the case may be. And that's all stuff that I need to learn how to control better. People give me suggestions. They say, well, it's just this setting in your camera. And I look and, well, this camera doesn't have that setting. That's obviously a setting in their camera, but it isn't in the camera that I'm using on that particular day. Or they comment that the two cameras are different, even though the shots are actually taken with the same camera using the same settings, and it's really just the light in the shot that is different. So there's a lot of assumptions and misconceptions when people offer what they believe is constructive criticism. And while I appreciate their efforts to help, usually it's stuff that I already know about. I've already looked at this in the editing. Remember, this is not a live stream. You aren't communicating with me live right now. When you say that was a little out of focus, the sound was a little bad, I already saw that in the editing. There was just nothing I could do about it at that time. But as I get better editing, there are color corrections and there are things that I can do in the editing software that helps. So why wouldn't I want to improve that? The other thing I need to improve is actually looking at the lens of the camera instead of over here at this little monitor that I use to make sure that I'm lined up in the shot, because it's so easy to look at that. It's like looking in a mirror, but it's kind of distracting because it looks like I'm talking to somebody else. So that's a real hard thing for me to get used to. Anyways, those are just some random thoughts specifically about me improving the quality of videos that I put out here on YouTube. But the same thing applies to whatever you do in life. If you enjoy doing it, why not get better at it? There's always a chance to learn. There's always a chance to improve. There's a chance to evolve as a person, a chance to evolve as a creator. And that's part of what this is all about. It's a chance to explore new things while you're having fun doing something. So I hope that made sense. I hope you enjoyed the video. Give it a thumbs up if you did. If you haven't done so already, I'd love it if you hit that subscribe button. But in any case, do check back. We'll have more videos coming up in the near future. You folks have a good day, and we'll talk to you later.